We are hearing that President Joe Biden is taking into consideration some new executive actions to help out everybody in the nation. It might shock you. Pressure is building on Biden to turn to executive action despite limits and risks. This comes as no surprise. We've been hearing for quite a while why that is very likely that if Congress cannot get something done, the president is going to bypass them and do executive orders and executive actions. Now, as its article reads, despite its limits and risks, that is because Congress holds the power of the purse. Only Congress can issue out new funds. However, the president does have the legal authority, the power to repurpose and reallocate existing unused funds. And as you know, we're hearing that there's over $800 billion of leftover previous stimulus package funds just sitting there unused, untouched in accounts that he can reallocate and repurpose. And it's been done before. Former President Donald Trump, during his presidency, he reallocated existing FEMA funds to enhance unemployment benefits through the LWA program, and they're saying President Biden is likely going to be doing something similar to this. If Congress doesn't get something done soon, now take a look. We've heard there's actually a laundry list of executive actions that he is probably going to be doing right before elections. The first of which we're hearing is going to be wiping out $10,000 of student loan debt per borrower. He actually ran his campaign on this promise that would be fulfilled, but we're still waiting to see if it's going to get done. Well, Democrats are saying this is going to be the first on that list of items that they have, and progressives, they provided him a laundry list saying, please get this done to help out the American people, and what kind of help out Democrats in these upcoming midterm elections. This is back in March, where I flagged 3 reasons why progressives' executive order pushing is striking. They're saying they're throwing in the towel, realizing the right way. We're gonna get anything done in Congress. The traditional means of getting 60 votes in the Senate out of the 100 senators not going to happen. Even the process of reconciliation, just a majority vote getting 50 of the 100 seats to vote in favor of passing something not going to happen, because the Democrats right now, they can't get those moderate centrist Democrats, Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, on board. So progressives being led by Pramila Jayapal, they're saying, listen, just do some executive actions and orders. Here's the list. President Joe Biden just starts issuing this out, get things done, and make sure that voters, they see this, because right now Democrats, we're not looking too good in these polls, and neither are you, President Joe Biden. So please get things done right away. Now, if that name sounds familiar, Pramila Jayapal, it's because she is the head of the Progressive Caucus in the House of Representatives, and she's actually the one that's been pushing for $2,000 stimulus checks. Take a look, you guys. This is from her official site, a press release from last year. Jayapal to lift the introduced a bill to deliver recurring payments for pandemic relief, immediately provide $2,000 stimulus checks to every person in the nation to provide relief, followed by $1,000 recurring monthly payments. And Pramila Jayapal, she has been pushing for this along with Bernie Sanders and other Democrats, saying, listen, President Joe Biden, you can't promise the American people $2,000 checks and then not deliver on your promises. You need to step up, issue out executive actions and orders. While you guys, there's new one that's been added to the list. This is just coming out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Biden administration wastes extraordinary action to make your mortgage cheaper. That's right, they're trying to address the house crisis that we're currently experiencing, and right now we're hitting a recession is on the way, interest rates are going up, housing prices are out of control. It's starting to slow slightly. But we've also got all of this exacerbated with the war in Russia and Ukraine, record high food and gas prices, and 41-year high inflation, supply chain issues. And we're still in the middle of the pandemic, so an assortment of different things, and we're hearing that the list of executive actions and orders is getting longer. But with that being said, you guys, let's dive into this article and get you caught up on the latest on executive actions to get help to reduce the cost of mortgage. Alright, so link in the description below to this article that just recently came out. I always cite my sources, put them on the screen, read direct from them, and link them in the description so you know it's the latest, and let me know your thoughts on this particular executive action that's being proposed. Should the president do this? Should he do something else? What about those $200,000 stimulus checks, social security increases, wiping out the student loan debt, all those child tax credits? What should be on the list? What do you think is going to make it? And are they going to get this done? Well, take a look at this article, you guys. Biden administration weighs extraordinary action to make mortgages cheaper. The Biden administration may trim mortgage costs for new and low-income homebuyers and move to make home buying more accessible. Industry officials are asking the Federal Housing Administration or the FHA to cut premiums it charges for loans that they insure by $50 to $70 a month per buyer. So if you have an FHA loan, you could see that mortgage drop by $50 to $70. If this gets implemented, though some analysts say that the federal agency is unlikely to make such deep cuts, Biden's move to make homebuyers more affordable have so far centered on easing constraints on home supplies, which can drive up the cost, and the US is about 2 million house sausage, says Doug Duncan, chief economist at Fannie Mae, to Bloomberg. That last month, the Federal Reserve raised its key interest rates by 3/4 of a point. It's the largest hike in nearly 3 decades. Federal Reserve Chair Jeremy Powell suggested that another 3/4 point hike was possible at the Fed next meeting later that month. According to the Associated Press, now borrowing costs across the US rose sharply after rate hikes, with the average 30-year mortgage rate clearing 6%, the highest level that it's been since before the 2008 financial crisis, and up 3% from just the start of the year. So there you have it, you guys. Let me know your thoughts. We could see this added to the list of executive actions and orders that we're hearing will likely take place very soon, right before these midterm elections. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that this would be enough to help out those that have mortgages on home? Would it need to be more? Should they not do this at all and focus the money and attention on other things? Let me know your thoughts. Now also a little bit of insights into the real estate market. As I mentioned, I'm real estate investor, flip house, do rentals. I've created financial freedom through real estate investing, and nobody has a crystal ball. But again, I'm willing to share with you some of my insights, my thoughts on this. I think we're going to be seeing some swinging back and forth. I would not be surprised to hear that Federal Reserve announced here very soon that they're likely going to be pausing interest rate increases or even decreasing them, because the last thing they want is to cause a recession. And if we hear word of recession, which we're hearing right now, that could cause them to rethink some of their actions. You will see, and again, check out that series on my second channel. But you guys, that is the latest on new executive actions. So there you have it. Thank you so much for joining me.